Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks bringing you your daily Tesla report for Monday, May 18th, 2026. Let's take a look at the charts. So, wild week the last few weeks. The last month and a half anyway, coming off that 349.97 channel bottom. A formation we mentioned could contain quarterly, possibly through the rest of the year on a basis of that magnitude. And once tested, anticipating the sister formation that is now at 444.60. We pushed through that last week pretty decisively, but there were a couple other elements that did hold. One of them on the daily chart that we were apprising you the location of. This was an intraday resistance that we had mentioned is now 451.39 that could contain remnant buying pressures for the day, and we could back away. And had we settled above this structure, we were expecting kind of a pull away factor to 474.07, and the assumption that we would also then close the week itself above the channel bottom that is now still at 444.60, which we now have as a minor point. So I'm going to cut to the chase here and just mention that our resistance this week on the weekly chart, 453.29, 453.91. This descending channel top on the daily chart once again comes in at 451.39. We also have a rising channel top at 452.57 that still has some relevance, especially as it correlates well with this entire area. But we did, I think it was Monday of last week, close just above this structure without any follow-through buying. And so it is still there, though. We're really underscoring the fact that the low 450s has significant overhead resistance that we've tested and we've fallen away from. And in fact, let's go to the downside now. I've made it pretty clear. Actually, let me say a couple more things about this. And that is, this is sellable resistance for the week. And really, as it also relates on an intra-week basis to this channel bottom at 444.60, this is still the zone to sell into, anticipating possible bearish rotation back to 349.97 over the next month or two. I've been mentioning how we could trade inside of this band for several months to come. Yes, if we close above not only 444.60, but also above the 453.91 area, then we're expecting 2 to 3 months upward continuation to 541.84, which is a long-term channel top on the weekly chart. Do we show it properly? No, we do not. By properly, I mean take us all the way back to the point of origin of this thing. Goes back 6 years. It can contain annual buying pressures, possibly well into 27. It would be considered a 2 to 3 month target were we to close this week, Friday, above 453.91. But if we do close any day this week, let's say Wednesday or Thursday above 453.91, 474.07 in reach within the week, and a Friday settlement above 453.91, 498.83, that December all-time high from last year, within 2 to 3 weeks, within 2 to 3 months, 541.84. But we're not there. Where we are is having tested meaningful resistance, and the susceptibility now is bearish rotation over the next month or two back to 349.97. And I say susceptibility and not expecting this unless we were in the coming, in the next week or two, closing below 398.08. This is a newly formed rising channel bottom that comes off that April low. It is climbing at a pretty decent pace. Later in the week, it lines up well with the 3/8 downside Fibonacci over the last, you got the April low. This is about a 6-week rally, right? 5 or 6 week rally. So 398.08 is the rising channel support. 409.03 is the downside 3/8 Fibonacci. This zone shown here is our objective over the next 3 to 5 days below 430.74. And we could actually see this today, 409.93, especially if we gap lower. You've got 422 as the low on Friday. And we don't really show that as a minor point here, but if we gap and open below 422, I think we are likely to test 409.03 today. The beginning of what is now roughly an 11-point range and narrowing to nothing later in the week. This area able to contain selling on a weekly basis, and we can round up from here. Round up back into the 450s within a week or two of testing 398.08 to 409.03. So if you're looking on the buy side for a 2 to 3 week swing trade. It does present itself in the 398.08 to 409.03 area, because from here we can round back up into the 451.39 region, this descending channel top on the daily chart. We can round up within 1 to 2 weeks of that. The inverse is also true. You can play the short side. I just don't think we're going to see this early this week anyway. You can play the short side of the market in the low 450s, anticipating bearish rotation into this narrowing 398.08 to 409.03 area. Now, if over the next, 3 to 5 days, over the next couple of weeks, we happen to close below 398.08, I do think that sets up 349.97 as our next 3 to 5 week or sooner objective. And 349.97 is, once again, this rising channel bottom that is longer term, that contained the selling pressures about 5 or 6 weeks ago. Yes, on the way down.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Start your 2-week free trial and trade with clarity from day one.
381.49 can contain daily selling pressures, but once again, it would be a settlement below this 398.08 area that would set up, 381.49 within 3 to 5 days, 349.97 within 3 to 5 weeks, possibly within 2 to 3 weeks. And once again, that 349.97 formation able to contain selling through the third quarter, and we can round up again from there. I think I've covered it all pretty well. Let me jump into the day trade element here and just talk briefly about our channel bottom at 430.74. It can contain intraday, possibly daily highs. I'm assuming we open below it. It may contain highs for the day, and below which, once again, we are expecting 409.03 as a 3 to 5 day target, possibly today. This is the beginning of a narrowing zone of trend defining support near term that can contain selling for the week itself, and from here we can round up into the 450s within 1 to 2 weeks. But of the two, it should be noted that the low 450s are by far the more significant resistance than the support that we find at 398.08. And so there is the possibility over the next couple of weeks, as I mentioned, a settlement below 398.08 clearly sets up 349.97 as a 3 to 5 week target, which I say is attainable anyway over the next couple of months. Having tested its sister formation at 444.60, the market is susceptible to falling back to 349.97 and climbing over the next month or two. Make that within 3 to 5 weeks of closing below 398.08. Upside today, I think if we close above 430.74, we have a good low into later week. And this 451.39 level likely within a matter of, 1 to 3 days or so. 1 to 3 days of closing above 430.74. We retest that low 450s resistance where we could top out, as I say, through June, and below which we can fall over the next couple of months into what is now the upper 340s and climbing. I hope that all made sense. I am going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. I will be back tomorrow, of course, with Tuesday's Tesla, and you have a great day.